The goal of every single person who's selling a house is to sell as quickly as possible and make the most money. The longer a house takes to sell, the less money they will make. The sellers who understand they need to price their house correctly right from the start have the absolute best chance of selling quickly. And in a seller's market, they often have multiple competing offers to choose from. What do sellers look for in an offer? Let's talk about it. When sellers receive an offer or multiple offers on their house, they have many things they take into consideration when making their decision. They want to make as much money as possible from the sale of their house. They want to spend the least amount of money to get it sold. They want to know their buyer is serious and won't back out. And they want to know their buyer can indeed afford to buy their house. As a result, there are a variety of factors that come into play when sellers choose who they're going to sell their house to. And believe it or not, the price is only one of the things that they consider. We're going to talk about the different factors that sellers consider right now. One of the many things sellers consider is whether the buyer is paying cash or needs to get a loan. If a buyer is paying cash, sellers want to see their proof of funds. They want to see a bank statement that shows the money is indeed there. If a buyer is getting a loan, sellers want to see a pre-approval letter from a lender. Pre-approval means the buyers have already submitted pay stubs, tax returns, have had their credit checked, and have demonstrated that they can indeed be approved for a loan. Sellers want to feel comfortable knowing buyers can afford their house. They aren't going to take a chance on buyers who can't prove they're able to buy it. Speaking of loans, sellers take into consideration the type of loan buyers are using when they make an offer. Sellers typically place more interest in offers using conventional loans. That's because they can usually close faster and with less hassles than other types of loans. From a seller's perspective, the conventional loan is the best when they are receiving multiple offers. Another thing sellers consider is the offer price. Sellers want to make the most they can from the sale of their house. Lowball offers, well, they're typically insulting and as a result can be rejected right from the start. In a seller's market, buyers need to make their absolute best offer right from the start. That's because they likely only have one chance to make an offer. Buyers should also listen to the realtor so they have the most up-to-date market data and can make their absolute best offer. Buyers often worry about paying more for a house than it's worth. They indeed need to remember that houses must appraise. If a house doesn't appraise, a loan will not be approved and buyers will not be paying more than the house is worth. As long as a house appraises, buyers will not be overpaying. When reviewing offers, sellers will take into consideration the amount of down payment a buyer will be making. Buyers who have a larger down payment look better in a seller's eyes. It shows they have the money available and are less likely to have loan issues. The amount of earnest money deposit is something else sellers take into consideration. Buyers who are willing to make a larger earnest money deposit show how serious they really are. It shows they're willing to put more skin in the game, and that can impress sellers, especially when sellers are comparing the different offers that they receive. Sellers want to know, what things do buyers want to have inspected? Buyers who are willing to skip the inspections altogether or who are willing to have inspections done and buy a house as is have a better chance of having their offer chosen. Sellers are often on edge when inspections are done. They wonder what they might be asked to repair and, more importantly, what it will cost them. So put them at ease and consider not including inspections in your offer. Buyers who don't have a house they need to sell first are preferred by most sellers. Some buyers just can't help it. They need to sell their house in order to buy another one. But if you can leave out a home sale contingency, do it. It's really hard to beat out a competing offer that doesn't include one. Sellers also look for offers that don't include seller help towards a buyer's closing costs. This simply puts more money in the seller's pocket, and they like that a lot. When a seller puts their home up for sale, they typically have a time frame in mind in which to sell their house. They need to coordinate the sale of their house with their overall game plan, so they pay attention to the closing date that is included in offers. Offers with closing dates that work for the seller are more appealing. There are certainly many factors that go into making an offer on a house. Ultimately, the offer that works best for the seller is likely to be the offer that is chosen. Do you want to know more about buying a house in Maryland? You might find some of the videos in this playlist helpful. If you'd like even more information, download your free copy of the Ultimate Home Buying Guide. You'll find a link to it in the description box below. And if you're on mobile, just remember to tap the title to this video and you'll find it.